Welcome to the Cherland podcast, where I, Cherland, meet up with a musician, hear about what makes them tick, what kind of experiences they're bringing into their music, and maybe we get them to play a song. On today's episode, we have The Social, a four-piece band I recently saw at The Resident in downtown LA. The four members are Keaton, Alexander, Tommy, and Markie, and they were playing after my friend James Spaite, who is also an early podcast guest. What really stood out to me about these guys was the band's energy along with Keaton's screaming/singing ability. But in this episode, we talk about what makes a good frontman for a band and how we're all really bad audience members, sadly, and going on writing retreats with ya boys to get a lot of songs made in a very short amount of time. You can hear their song Any Other Way later in the episode. Please enjoy. So how's the day going so far? How did that IG Live go for a bit?
Good, man.
Awesome.
It was awesome.
Yeah. It's always a good time. People are always excited to do a 1 hour a week. It's like, and today we had a lot of people come through, a lot more than usual.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's a random time of the day. It's like middle of the day. So like most of these people are at like work or taking a break. And they're like, or driving, and we're like, oh no, don't accept or don't send us a request if you're driving or whatever. But they don't care. They're like, I'm on my break or I'm at school and I'm like we had a girl ask us a couple of questions. She was taking a break at school, and she was in like a library or something. It was like pretty quiet in there, so she had to be like low key hush about it.
Yeah, she definitely got in trouble for that.
Oh yeah.
So tell me about the format about that. Who came up with that format? Like what sparked that? Had you seen that before? I don't think I see much of that.
We went live one day just to go live on our Instagram
For our release.
I think it was for a release.
Okay With Me.
Okay With Me, our last single, and then we joined some fans in, just kind of started talking with people, and then decided to make it like a weekly thing where we join in for an hour and just kind of talk with our fans and talk with people and we just fuck around and talk about whatever comes up and hang out, talk about new music. Last week or 2 weeks ago, we shared our next single with everyone who joined in.
Cool.
Just like a private SoundCloud link, and that was super cool. And it's been cool to like see the reaction from everyone on that. But yeah, it's just like a fun thing and just really engaging, and it's good to get to meet people who might not be able to make it to a show or are in other states or other countries. It's just super fun. Totally.
So is that the same new single that I would have heard last Thursday at the
Resident?
Resident.
Yes. Yeah. So it's the second last song we did. Yeah, it's called Focus on You. And we're working on a release date. It's going to be sometime mid-March. We're trying to plan some stuff to go with it. So we're getting ready for that.
Okay, cool. That's awesome. So I know very little about this band's inception. So like how you all met, how you determined like the vision, the direction for the band. Can you give me a little bit of an origin story for you guys?
Sure. Yeah. So it started a ways back. I did a solo album in 2017, and I was looking for musicians to play shows with. Came across Alexander. We started jamming a little bit. We actually had another guy in the band, another bass player, and he kind of had the idea to start a band and like start writing some music. Me and Alexander had kind of like written a couple songs here and there, but like nothing crazy. And then had the idea to start an actual band and do it for real. I was like, fuck yeah, I love that. I love playing in bands. He loves playing in bands. He had just left his previous band.
So did you.
And so did I. And so, and I quickly realized I didn't really want to play solo music because that's not nearly as fun as being in a band and getting to write songs with other people and stuff. And I've always loved the collaboration of that. And then we actually put a Craigslist ad out. The other guy in the band put a Craigslist ad out for a guitar player. And Tommy showed up.
Yeah.
Craigslist. And they knew each other.
From my other band.
My
previous
and before that, too.
And before that,
a Craigslist find.
Yeah,
also
so
Craigslist.
Connected through Craigslist.
Thank you, Craigslist.
And then we had some conflicting ideas about the band with the other guy. It dropped from the four of us to the three of us, and then we continued on for a while before we added Markie in, just like last year.
I met
almost
him
a year.
playing, I play bass for his girlfriend, Tiffany Stringer.
Nice.
Amazing, awesome artist, and I've luckily been playing with her for a few years.
Yeah.
Like 2018, I met the guys back then too, like right when they were releasing the social in like 2019.
Yeah.
So it's just been.
Wait, he was at the single release.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, me and Mark, we go way back.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
used to go to like stupid parties in like
Yeah.
2014, 15
Yeah.
or whatever. Just like,
That's awesome.
yeah, we go way back. So it just felt like a natural fit. And then, the social was born.
So tell me about the direction of this band and how you decided on like this is the direction we want to go. It seems like there was also a potential other direction, but like what made this direction so sticky for you guys?
Yeah.
I think it was because we were all on the same page. Even like as you mentioned before, like the social didn't really form until after we had let our past member go.
Yeah.
And it was like for us it was like a weight off our shoulders because
Yeah.
now we could truly be the social or
Yeah.
what it was becoming.
Like realistically, he was like trying to lead it into like a rock thing, like more of a harder rock thing. And he was very forceful about it. Like he wanted his way. And he like really wanted, and we were all like on the page of this needs to be like a very collaborative effort.
Yeah,
of, like,
more democratic, not
Exactly,
like
not
de facto
like
leader
there's
kind of
like
guy.
one leader who like does everything. It's
Yeah.
like everyone's an equal partner in this. And then we all realized like we all love like alternative music, indie rock bands like the 1975, Walk the Moon, The Strokes,
Arctic Monkeys,
Killers, like those kinds of
Killers, yeah.
bands. And we realized we liked those bands, and so it just made sense between the three of us especially. And we wrote a song with just the three of us one time, and then that was like the moment where we knew like,
oh
okay,
yeah, this is
Yeah,
makes
I was about
whole-
to say that. I think that's like the moment that the social was actually born.
Yeah.
Was
Well, we
you were
actually
in the
decided
kitchen,
that-
and then you run back. You're like, "Hey, play that again."
Yeah, exactly.
that was
And then-
Dancing on the Moon.
Yeah,
But that was also
Yeah.
the same day we were like, let's ditch this old name.
Yeah, because he was
and
still
come
he
up
was
with
still in the
something new.
band or some shit, right?
Yeah. The other guy was still in the band. He just wasn't there that day,
Yeah.
and it just was automatically made sense.
Right,
and then
yeah.
Markie joining in just made perfect sense because he's a rock dude.
Now
too,
it feels
and,
like so complete.
yeah,
now.
and he loves the same kind of music we do. Arctic Monkeys for sure.
Yeah.
The 1975.
Yeah,
dude.
that's
Nice.
it,
We,
yeah.
we both
Yeah.
we're nerds.
Yeah.
about that shit.
And
Yeah.
so, just kind of clicked.
That sounds very special. Tell me about collaborating in making songs together. When it comes to like making songs, oftentimes it's like lead singer comes up with like a certain line or something. But I mean, Tommy just referenced coming up with like a guitar lick or something like that. So how do you guys navigate like, oh, that's a cool lick, or like, nah, that's okay. Keep writing, man.
Yeah.
Pretty much just like that.
You want to take that?
Yeah. So pretty much how it happens, it'll be like one little nucleus of an idea, like just like a little tiny like thing that's like kind of cool, and then it'll be kind of like almost like a rally, like with like tennis or something like that. You know what I mean? It's like he'll take over and start adding, and we'll start. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like improv. You know what I mean? And that each person kind of like starts taking a spin at it.
Yeah.
And it hits this point where it's like, I don't know if this is really going anywhere.
Yeah.
You know, and then it'll kick into second gear, and then it's just like, okay, now
it makes
this is the
sense.
idea. Yeah,
And
it's
sometimes,
crazy.
like, a lot of the times we'll jam an idea and like voice memo it or whatever, and then listen to it, be like, okay, that's kind of cool, whatever, and then come back to it and be like, oh, this was actually really, really good, or that's not something we want to pursue further, and then we'll take it from there and jam on it again and build off of the ideas. And then a lot of the times, like, I'll just be singing a random melody with some words that don't mean anything yet, and then it kind of just takes the shape of the song, and that's pretty much how we rock it.
Right. It's like an organic progression.
Yeah,
kind
very
of
much
thing.
building off of each other, bouncing off each other.
Yeah, it's
That's great.
definitely a lot different than I've done in the past. Because in the past, writing with other bands, we'd like have structure. We'd be like, all right, we need to write a verse, pre-chorus, chorus,
Right.
post-chorus, and then verse. You know, it was all mapped out, and then we would see a screen and then play a part and then fill in those gaps. And now it's like I'm actually playing stuff that I want to because it's
More intuitive.
Yeah, it's coming to me naturally and right on the spot. And I would never play the stuff that I do on a screen that I would play just in a room with these guys. Because like
Right.
when they play something, it inspires me to play something else or something that feels better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's like one of the best things about being in a band is that you can literally just get into a room and just start jamming, and it might turn into a real song.
Yeah.
Versus like I've done a lot of stuff just in the computer.
Yeah, it's
working
a
on
session,
songs
yeah.
On a DAW, and it you might do an 8-bar loop and be like, okay, this sucks, I hate it, and then you're like, this isn't gonna go anywhere.
Yeah, you don't know where to take it.
Yeah, or you might structure out a whole song and it's be like, this has no vibe to it. Like, I don't know
Right.
what to even do here. But with other people and other musicians, you can just bounce off of each other's
Yeah.
ideas. It kind of naturally just
Feel
forms.
it.
Yeah, there's also like a checks and balances when you're working with people, because it's like I could have an idea, and this is where like trust is like super important, where it's like, let's say I have an idea and they're like, dude, this is nah, you know what I mean?
This is not.
And like if everybody has the best interest of like what the band, like just writing a good song and what, you know, like then that's, you can get so much more done, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
And we're honest about that. Like if there's like there's a couple of songs that we had in our set that we're like, nah, we can't have this live. It's just it's like the crowd wasn't into it. We actually brought in a song that you probably heard alive. It's called "Okay with Me." We hadn't played that in a while because it was just like an energy suck. And then we played it.
We revamped
it.
Yeah.
And it hits the hardest in the set now.
Yeah.
So it's like it's just all about how you're feeling and vibing off of each other as well.
Yeah.
Is there a particular environment that's like most helpful for you guys to collaborate in? You're like in a studio right now, but is there a spot you guys like drive out to someone's cabin?
Not here.
You pretty much just nailed it.
Not in Los Angeles.
So basically, like, we actually haven't done a writing trip with Markie yet, but that we were talking about that 10 minutes ago before we started this. In the past, we've gone out and done writing trips in Big Bear and Idlewild, and that is like the most inspiring and most productive time, because we just go out there with no distraction and just get to create freely, and there's no judgment or anything. We're in a new place that has no preset energy or vibe in the room. Like,
no obligation.
The creative juices are just flat. Like
exactly,
you're just like totally like stimulated with new information.
Right.
Yeah.
And like right now we're in our rehearsal space, which is super awesome. It's great to have here in LA because we need to, play music together and stuff. But like, as far as writing creatively, I feel like getting out of LA or just getting into a new place really helps with that.
Yeah.
And we've seen that work well in the past.
Yeah. I mean, because we'll write a bulk of songs in like 2 or 3 days.
Yeah.
And we can't do that here
It's
in
tough.
2-3 months.
Tough,
it's like, what
It's
the
just-
fuck is wrong?
yeah.
It's just, we're being pulled apart every which way. We all have jobs. We all have other responsibilities and shit. And we want this to be our number one responsibility.
Yeah, and there's something about when you're like waking up together, you drink coffee, we do these like creative writing things together, we'll like read together, we fucking eat together, we went skating together, like it was like,
We went on, you do other
when do you
shit
do
together,
that ever in your adult life? Never.
Yeah.
You know?
It's like being a kid.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
It's like summer camp, but we're in control and we're writing a sick ass record.
Exactly.
So it's like awesome, you know?
It's a sick ass summer camp right there. That sounds so special. My gosh. I'm like getting choked up by your guys' friendship. My goodness. That sounds amazing. It sounds like you mentioned the importance of trust. Like you would build trust crazy fast living together in that scenario, waking up together, reading together, writing together. It's like it's all very vulnerable. It's all like very fast friendship kind of a thing, which I imagine is super important. As like Tommy, you like came in off of Craigslist, so I'm like but now you guys seem super tight.
You never know what you're gonna get, and like we lucked out for sure. And the fact that they already knew
each other.
Just like so crazy that would even happen. And
Was that the first Craigslist post that you clicked on?
Yeah,
too?
they didn't even know that the other guy made that.
Yeah, we didn't.
We
He
didn't
just
know it
posted it.
Yeah.
He
It was
posted
really weird.
it, and then he clicked on it.
I noticed the people in the photos because I'd been on tour with him twice and or 3 times or some shit. And then
We met briefly at his birthday party.
So
a while back.
but there'd been like a pretty decent amount of time where we weren't playing together. So it was like kind of like random, like
Like he
You know?
just magically reappeared, and it was like perfect timing. It was such perfect timing. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I often get the chance to talk to the people who sing, and very rarely do I get the chance to talk to the people who are supporting in such a huge way. And I would love to ask, what do you look for in a band leader, in the lead singer, in like the person who's like fronting? Like what are the things that you're really looking for, the things that you're like willing to stake your flag in?
Markie?
Is this for like a different band if I was looking for that? Or
No,
or this band?
I'm talking about like what is it necessarily about Keaton, or what is it about like any project you've picked in the
Oh,
past?
I thought you meant
of,
just like in bands in general. Like,
yeah, I picked this singer because I believed in him him or her for XYZ reason.
I mean, I definitely did that when I left my other band because my other band was female fronted. Has nothing to do with the fact that like they can't sing better than Keaton, but I just saw the professionalism and like the maturity that Keaton had. And when like we would get in the room together, like the shit he would come up with, like his melodies and his fucking voice is insane. And I was like, yo, this guy needs to be in a band. He doesn't need to be singing solo. And then when it started becoming a band, I'm like, oh fuck. It's like I'm not gonna say anything. I don't want to spoil this. And then when he was like, dude, I want a band too, I was like, oh, this is perfect. But like he knows how to like control a crowd, lead a crowd, and like if they're not hyped, he can get them hyped no matter what. Yeah, and I love that.
It's interesting for me because this is my first time being the front man in a band. I think a lot of people just think like front man means you're like the leader of the band, but like I think a lot of the times the front man actually isn't, or like everyone's kind of on the same level when it comes to creativity and writing the songs and all these things. Yes, it has to channel through me if I'm singing the song, but honestly I would say I'm a good channeler more so than like a front man. I feel like more like I'm taking the energy that we've all thought of and brought up together and just pushing it out to the audience and the crowd.
And he's humble. So.
Yeah,
he's super humble. That's a big one.
Yeah.
Because normally the lead singers be like, yeah, it's all me. I'm good.
I don't carry anything when we load our stuff. So
Doesn't set up.
I don't set up anything.
He's got his mic stand.
Yeah, I'm carrying my voice, which
Yeah,
is heavy enough.
I'm resting my voice.
I'm carrying the band.
Yeah.
You actually saw a very unique show because this is the first time they actually full on didn't play guitar. He usually plays guitar, and
usually I'll play guitar a little bit, and I think I do like that. We were just kind of testing it out for this one. I think it adds a nice element when I do jump on and play guitar. I kind of use it as like a comfort zone, so I wanted to break out of that a little bit, and it's nice to be able to engage with the audience a little bit more.
You felt comfortable.
Yeah, okay, good. That's good. I felt comfortable up there. I just think it's nice to switch it up a little bit and break up the the vibe of the show and add a little bit more.
Yeah.
Totally. Mark, do you have anything in particular that you look for when it comes to who you have as your lead singer?
In a band setting, definitely a big factor in it is the humility for sure. There's so many components that go into like being in the band, and you're also human, and like you just have all these like aspects of life that go into it, and like being with the guys here, it just feels like every day is like new, and we can just like we're always like going off each other's ideas and just accepting all ideas and like all aspects of like anything that in writing a song, like if like these like what do you think, like find a solution to this song, like not just like rely on me to like figure it out.
I think it's like you can't have one without the other, really.
Yeah.
And I think that's where a lot of bands fall short is, you see it a lot. The lead singer goes solo or whatever, and because there is that attention on them, but a lot of the times whatever they do after that is lacking compared to what they did before, because the energy comes from the entire band. It comes from the equal parts, the partnership. That's why it was so important to us when we were first talking about the idea that it's like this has to be an equal parts thing. It has to be everyone's in it together on the same page. Everyone gets paid the same. Everyone, does all the same amount of work. Everyone's helping out equally.
Everyone writes.
Everyone's in. It's not like, or even if they didn't write anything, it's not like we're going to like cut them out
it's like we pick up in different where someone else falls short,
exactly,
so everybody has different strengths and talents and all that stuff. So it works out.
Man, that is such a marriage. Everyone gets paid the same is really where the rubber meets the road right there.
I've seen it the other way, and it's not pretty, let me tell you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, we're a total equal partnership, 70-30.
Exactly.
And it's deserved.
Nice, clean round numbers.
95-5. Yeah. Of course, 95. They split 5.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
It's pretty sick.
It's a good opportunity for me.
Yeah. It worked for Bezos. It'll work for me, Keaton, as you've had a bunch of experience in like producing other artists as well as like producing your own stuff, or who wears the producer hat? Is that something that you guys also equally share, or is that something that Keaton more takes on?
I feel like I do a lot of the engineering just because I know the software so well. But as far as producing goes, I would say it's equal across the board. Like we all play the parts that you're hearing on the records. We're all coming up with the parts that are on the records. I'll fill in some like keyboard spots. Sometimes Tommy's playing it, or just whoever is coming up with the ideas. So realistically, like I would say I engineer quite a bit just because I know how, but the actual
it's your equipment too.
Yeah,
it's so fast.
Yeah,
I'm fast with it, but like there are definitely other projects that I work on that are like I am obviously the producer, but this feels definitely more like everyone is
produced by the social.
It's produced by all of us. It's not like and I know like 1975 is a good example of that because just Maddie and the drummer George produce everything pretty much, and they're credited that way because I would imagine they're the ones at the computer together working on the stuff constantly, and the other players are usually credited as writers. And I'm sure they're in the room and play their parts and stuff. But, like, they probably just have that dynamic where the two of them are the ones in the studio creating the songs as far as production goes. And for us, it's really all four of us in the room.
Mm-hmm. Impressive. It's a lot. It's a lot to take on. When it comes to, like, producing, this is just a selfish producer question that I have about producing other people. What makes something like a bad or good experience when it comes to producing someone else for you?
Let's see. I would say what makes it a bad experience is if you get an artist who doesn't know who they are, or doesn't have any sense of direction, because that is frustrating for me because it's not my job to know their sense of direction. My job is to help them find it if they need that, and I'm happy to do that. But it's definitely frustrating when an artist shows up and they don't even know what they want their song to sound like, or like we write a song together and they just like don't like it, but they don't have any reason why they don't like it. Definitely great when an artist can come in and just be like, this is what I love, these are the artists I love, this is what I want to sound like, and have a pretty good idea of the direction of their music. Because I can make a lot of things happen on the computer if I know the direction or the ideas that they want. But if I don't have that, then I'm just going to do whatever I think would be good, which might work. It might be good, but you never know. And so I think that's what like defines a good session for me.
Gotcha. Other question I have for the whole group in regards to songwriting: what are some doesn't just have to do with the songs that you've already put out, but songs that you guys generally write? Do you experience recurring themes within like what it is you're trying to relay?
Definitely,
yeah.
Yeah, Tommy, I've noticed he's very deliberate, which is really cool. But like, deliberately, like they were talking that they wrote and like with 2 chords and did a lot of Lydian stuff, like a lot of that stuff, just like a lot of 9 chords, like 7 chords, just like stuff. Yeah, so just like very very deliberate choices, but also leaves freedom for like improvise. But like, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think so. And I'd say lyrically, we kind of always have this, I would say, like umbrella theme of just positivity in general. Mm-hmm. That's really important to us.
Yeah.
Having a good time, just trying to relate with people, and doing that in an honest way that's super important to us. So like keeping honest with ourselves and, talking openly about different subjects or things that could be potential song ideas. Yeah, just in general, we like space a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know, like
dancing on the moon,
stars and space.
Like majestic things.
Yeah.
Like super like
feeling,
yeah.
Bigger than life.
Right, yeah, exactly. More ethereal or something like that.
Yeah.
Also, like, I'm thinking about it now, there's a lot of storytelling. Like, Another Life's about your folks.
Yeah.
Don't Go's about, first part's about my bro.
Then my old friend.
Yeah. Some personal.
Any Other Ways, you and Tiff. Dancing on the Moons, you and Tiff, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, everything is...
Yeah, a lot of, like, storytelling, you know what I mean?
So
people...
I would say a lot of it, like, kind of happens naturally. Like, we didn't really plan on having these themes, but they kind of just show up anyway, because I guess that's who we are.
I definitely like the I think what we're trying to do is kind of like project a feeling, and that's like the weightlessness feeling.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I think that's kind of like what it feels like to be on stage playing in the social.
Yeah.
It feels like gravity is kind of like lifting up a little bit.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
And then upbeat.
It happens
upbeat,
when we're just jamming, you know?
Yeah.
Like because a lot of times we'll start
aura.
with the music first, and it's, you know, sets the tone for the vibe of whatever the song is going to be. And it could be a guitar riff or, you know, whatever. And then the lyric ideas kind of just come to whatever emotion that, you know, sound makes us feel. And we go from there. And then, like you said, kind of tell a story, try to do some storytelling and
Describe that feeling that we're
describe the
feeling when we're
feeling
creating
and,
it.
Yeah, and get personal with it and, you know.
Yeah.
That's sweet. Since we're talking about songs and we're at the half-hour mark, is it a okay time to ask you guys to play a little song?
Yeah, should we
If
do
you're
it?
okay.
Yeah.
Let's do it. All right, let's
some
do it.
acoustic.
Cool.
Yeah, let's grab the acoustic guitar.
What song are we gonna do?
You want to do...
Probably another way. I think
Let's
it'll
do
be
it another way.
yeah, it might be
I'll
easier.
roll might not translate well on acoustic guitar.
Sure, yeah.
All right,
Okay.
let's do it. I wouldn't have it, wouldn't have it any other way. Wouldn't have it, wouldn't have it any other way. In a room full of crowds, I push my way through the crowd. You're all alone at the bar, looking for something new. Could be forever with you. And I just need you to know I wouldn't have it any other way. 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 I never ran to dream, and now it's just you and me. Everything else is a blur. We're never coming down. We're living for right now. As long as I'm with you, I wouldn't have it any other way. 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 If I could travel back in time and live another life and love it all the same, I wouldn't change a thing. I wouldn't have it. I wouldn't change a thing. I wouldn't have it any other way. I couldn't have it any other way. Wouldn't 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 have it any other way. Any other way. Any other way. Any other way. Any other way.
Woo!
That was fun.
Oh yeah.
That was strong. That was strong.
Thanks.
Mark coming in
put
with
us on
claps at the
I know.
very end.
Put us on blast.
Mark coming in with the claps.
I know, yeah.
That's my favorite
I
part of the
appreciate
bridge.
it.
Yeah.
That was great. It's a great song. Obviously, you know that. Hope you feel good about it. Other questions to wrap up with you guys. Last thing about screaming, because apparently I just love screaming in general. How, when you have a scream, first off, how did you develop a scream?
Let's see. I was in a metal band when I was 13. So that's probably where I first. Yeah, if you want to look it up, it's called A Shadow and a Chandelier.
It's awesome.
It's very
I
good.
highly recommend you do
You
it.
can probably, I think it's only on Facebook, so if you ever want to find that, it's horrible. Maybe I'll send you the link. But that's where I first probably got that from. And it kind of just comes naturally when we're playing live, because it's just like a high energy thing. Because like our recorded songs are not super screamy. Like we don't actually have screaming in them really. On Top of the World kind of does a little bit, but like it's pretty clean for the most part. I just think like the excitement just like I don't know gets to me and just like makes me want to like scream.
An explosion of energy.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool.
It was like that as soon as I heard you scream, because it like everybody that nice, like everybody has nice voices at a certain level, you know. And then I heard like I've always loved people with like a crazy nice like clean voice and can scream. That like Data Remember Silverstein situation where you're like,
Right.
my God, you're a better singer than everyone, and you can scream better than most screamers.
Yeah, no, I actually love A Day to Remember. They were great.
Yeah.
Huge inspiration when I was 13, for sure, in my metal band. I also
Sounds
sang
like
in
such a
band.
diss.
No, I really did. I loved them when I was 13. It was.
Yeah, they were my favorite band.
I was also I was the singer, and I would scream a little bit in the metal band. That's funny you picked up on that, because I don't think anybody's actually referenced us as a screaming band. I definitely do a lot of screaming.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's screaming is just so cool. It's
I just love the high energy of it.
Yeah, right.
Like I can't help it when like we're
like
performing.
primal.
It's just like like on
It's primal,
on top of the world.
On Top of the World is a big one. Yeah.
It's like so fast and just hype energy that I just like. I don't know.
Yeah.
When we were first writing that, it was just like
It's like chaotic, but like
yeah,
controlled chaos.
yeah,
Sort of.
exactly.
Yeah.
I have a question for you.
Nice.
The interview has did a swap.
So we gathered you here today.
So we want you to play a song.
What was the question?
What's your takeaway of the band, The Social? Just seeing us live, just...
Are you saying like I mean clearly I like you guys as a band, and so far I hope I have shown you that I like you as people.
Of course.
So do you mean something more specific?
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah.
I would say like what
What were some strong points or something like that?
Yeah, what made you want to stay? Because I know you mentioned you went for James, and then you said you stayed for our set. What made you want to do that?
Drinks.
That's
a good answer.
That's a great answer.
That's great.
I mean I had no information about you guys prior to you guys actually playing songs. So it wasn't anything. One thing that was interesting was as I was coming up to the venue, there was like 5 other girls in front of me, and they were all there for the social. And the door person kept saying like, "Oh my gosh, more for the social?" And I was like, "Wow, the social's on last, so they're here really early."
Yeah. They were so early. I actually feel bad that they
Yeah.
were there so early, because they didn't know any of the other bands that were playing. But
I
that's
mean, the other
that's how
bands were also great, but
they were super good. Yeah, I'm glad. That they
but it was just 4 hours before you.
yeah.
It was a little long.
We were talking about that earlier.
But they're that dedicated to where they're like, we're not going to miss the show. We're going to be front and center, and there's always room.
To
but
come back to Markie's
it's sweet.
question, though, I am interested. Like, what was your perspective on seeing us? Because it's interesting to talk to someone who didn't know us and then saw us at this show. Like, what was your perspective? Just
coming from a
off of
musician or like as
brand
an
new
audience.
show,
Yeah.
seeing this band. What would you say?
Yeah, well, the good thing about me knowing nothing about your music, I have zero expectations about what it is I'm about to see. So you only have the element of surprise. So if you don't do anything bad, you just stay on that level, of just like, this is good. And then anything that like breaks that thing of like, oh, this is great.
Right. Yeah.
Then you're like, oh, we're in something. Like when you see live music, I'm also like a bad person to talk to when it comes to seeing live music. As a musician, I somehow just like don't enjoy a lot of live music.
Dude, I'm so with you.
We talk about that
I'm
all
a
the
bad
time.
audience
it's kind
member.
Of the same thing, and it's like a lot of the times I'll be like enjoying myself, like it's fine, but I like think about the technicalities.
Yeah, I'm looking at their gear and
thinking
shit.
about the gear that they're using, stupid shit like that, and then I'm thinking about songwriting techniques, thinking about who's the one writing these songs.
Yeah.
What
Who produced
what's
it?
the vibe?
Just dissecting.
I literally like do this in my head. every
Unless you're
show.
distracted.
So it's like hard to like, unless it's like a band that I really love or like an artist that I already like know all the songs of. Yes. I'm like so in that same boat of just like tearing it apart.
Yeah, I see the Lumineers. Like I saw a Lumineers show and my brain shut off, and it was just like, yeah, I'm singing Ophelia top of my lungs.
Yeah. See, I love that. Yeah, that's Walk the Moon for me. Is the same thing. It's just like I love this shit. Like I'm here for it. But then like I'll see random ass bands.
Most local shows.
Most local shows. I'm like, okay, what are you trying to do? What is this?
Yeah, get me excited about something.
Yeah. What are you trying to do? I know you're failing at it. Let me point out why.
Yeah, you're failing, but do better.
Yeah.
So I would say the surprises involved screaming, but also like you can play Mr. Brightside at any point, and my brain will also shut off and be like,
sure,
that's
our
the thing
biggest
about that
cover.
song. Yeah, it's like it really does that.
That song is it's magic.
It really is.
Oh yeah.
I also just think like Keaton dancing in the front, just like honestly looking like he's chilling. And I was like, there's so many different types of frontmen, and I've watched so many shows where I'm like, I don't like this guy. I don't know this guy. He sings great.
I know.
Very comfortable face.
I know that. That's like a very real thing.
Yeah.
It's like it's so crazy how real that is.
And I didn't feel that when I saw you.
That's
nice.
awesome.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
That's a really good
I'm
thing.
still kind of figuring that out, so that's really good to hear.
Yeah.
Sometimes when I see me, I'm like, I want to punch that guy. That guy sucks.
Yeah, I feel like No, I love dropping the guitar because it like makes me forced to interact with the audience more and like give more to the crowd, and I really love that. But I'm glad you like my dancing too, because it's not great, but I have fun.
That's like Dayglow. His dancing's so bad,
It's
but I
horrible.
love it's my
awkward,
favorite
it's
dancing
super
ever
fun.
because he just
Yeah.
owns it.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
He's like, I'm awkward.
It's just like he's just doing it.
But that's like kind of our thing too. It's like I want people there to have fun and not give a fuck about how they look.
Yeah.
So like I need to
Turn
be
your
that
mind
for
off
them.
and just
I
be-
need to be like okay and comfortable with looking like an idiot or a weirdo.
Right.
Yeah.
So
I think that's a
it's
cool
okay,
thing. Like
you know?
we spend so much time like before, like whatever the show, a month before, we'll plan the show. We analyze everything about it. But then as soon as that 30 minutes hits, like the start of the 30 minutes
Nothing
to the
matters.
end of it, it's all gone, and we're
It's
just
all freestyle,
enjoying each other.
Yeah.
And you're just rolling
we
with
trust
it.
in
You
each
just have
other.
to let it
roll
go. You
yeah.
let go to the audience. You let go to the performance, to everything, and let it be what it's going to be. And,
Right.
hopefully people like it, and hopefully people have a good time.
Yeah.
Because that's what we're trying to create. So,
Right.
Yeah.
Speaking of wanting to punch lead singers in the face, I feel like it is so regular to find a punchable face as the front man.
Oh,
It's just like,
I know,
yeah.
it sucks. You're in like the crosshairs, you know? It's like,
I am very punchable.
No, I'm saying that I didn't.
well, just being the front man, you're the person. If someone is,
No, I
If
know.
you're already a target.
yeah, you're the main target.
It is
exactly.
so funny that that's like such a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's because the ego often like exists in the front as well. So that kind of a thing when they try to just stand up there alone. When you're comfortable in your own skin, it's actually really nice to watch someone who is comfortable in their own skin be on a stage, because you're like, oh, I can be myself. But when you see someone who's so overly compensating for like deep insecurity, you're like, oh my god, it's triggering my own deep insecurity, and I need to beat that guy up.
Yeah. No, it's that's
Yeah.
Beat 'em up. It's the only other option, dude. It really is.
yeah, it is so true. I mean, I definitely say that a lot. Just like the ego up front. That's
Yeah, I think that's the thing. That to me, that's like a staple thing of our shows is how natural it is. If it's not natural, we don't do it. So everything kind of feels right all the time when you do that.
That's really good. I got a last couple questions for you guys. Any bad advice you've had about your musical career? You can say like, what's some bad advice you've received, or you can go the other route and say like, what's good advice you've received, whatever you're feeling.
I would say bad. Oh, you can go ahead.
I have good advice on my mind because one of our fans asked us this in the live stream. someone in the music industry told me just to be nice to everyone and to make sure that your team is nice to everyone, because if you're not nice on your way up, nobody's gonna like you on your way down, basically. And it's like, that's very true. And this is a really, really small business, small world, the music business. And that really stuck with me. And I think it's super important just to be nice to people, to your fans, to the people you work with. And I think that's really, really important.
That's great advice.
I would say
Anybody else?
bad advice is I hate this one is fake it till you make it, because to me it's like here in LA, dude, it's full of fakes, dude.
Yeah.
And genuine people. I think it's like you stand out so much more if you're a genuine person and you're not acting like, and that kind of goes to being nice as well.
Yeah.
Like on it, like be honest.
I
and
have
like,
something to say about that.
Sure.
I feel like that is very misinterpreted. I feel like fake it till you make it is like, you don't need to fake it out to anybody else. You just need to fake it out to yourself.
Sure.
You literally just need to tell yourself, like, I am good enough to show people my music. I'm good enough to send my, EPK to somebody.
Yeah.
I'm good enough to share this with the fans.
Of course,
I feel like that is what it's trying to say, but
right. Like dress for the job that you want, kind of thing. It's I get what it's trying to do. It's just like I think it promotes people being like super. I hate that, man.
Well, it just
Yeah.
creates ego and
Right,
all
yeah.
this other shit that was never there.
Yeah, just be yourself. People want to connect with you if you're honest.
Yeah.
That's just how you attract people, good people your way when you do that.
Absolutely. I agree.
We have best advice, best gig or worst gig. If you guys want to tell
In
a
this
story in
band?
the direction.
Is this all time or?
All
This
time.
is all of all
Just
time
this
because
band.
this band has not really had a bad gig.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like we haven't had like one shit gig. I mean, this last
That
gig
comes
we
from all
had
the
literally
literally
10 minutes to set up. This
Yeah.
last gig was stressful because we were rushed
It was
for
very,
time.
very on the fly.
We were stuck in traffic. We had a backline and everything. When we showed up, we the fastest setup we've ever done ever.
Yeah,
And
it's
this is
crazy.
like less than 10 minutes. And we're ready. We get 30 seconds to check a snippet of a song, and that's it.
Yeah.
It was pretty stressful, and I don't like to do that right before a show.
It's nice
'Cause
to know
then
that
it
we
puts-
can though.
It's
Yeah.
not so we can,
Yeah, that's sick.
Yeah, we can roll up and do that, but I've
It
had a lot of
definitely-
bad
yeah.
gigs in my last band.
It felt like you weren't respected when it's like that.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like, all right, well, your time's up, and it's like, well, we just.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I guess you just want to be respected as an artist and stuff like that,
But we've never
especially when you're making them money.
we've never had a
Exactly.
have we had a bad show?
I don't think we really have.
No, some are better than others.
I mean,
I
your
would say-
guitar broke many times.
Honestly, Madame Siam was probably technically the worst one, but also
Oh,
the
yeah.
most fun.
It was-
Yeah, it was a bad.
Someone
Yeah.
threw up on
a-
that console though.
Oh yeah, that's
So there
why
was- it was damaged.
Oh, yeah,
That was a
there
bad
reverb
show.
all over
That was
everything.
so fun.
Someone
We
had
had
threw up on a.
We had a reverb on our entire mix for this show at Madame
So
Siam.
everything sounds like it was in a fucking cave.
So it was
you know?
the craziest shit ever. But we just rocked it anyway, and it was wild, and
It was.
Everyone was
probably sounded
jumping
like shit, but we
around.
just
Yeah.
had fun with it, so that was good. My guitar breaks every time we play a show. That's part of the reason why I didn't play guitar.
Yeah.
It's part of the show. It's rehearsed, actually.
But
Yeah.
literally every single time I think I've ever tried,
Yeah.
it's broken at some
The
point.
tubes
Yeah.
go out.
The amp, the guitar,
goes out.
the
It was,
something.
it's all-
Wait, what about the troubadour?
Troubadour didn't happen. That's actually
Yeah,
He
when
only
you rocked
played-
the Kemper.
that was the only time I
Yeah,
think that
it wasn't.
If there's an amp involved,
Then it
Yeah.
fucks
Yeah.
up. Yeah.
It's your pedal board and your guitar too. But
Yeah.
it's best show.
I would say it was our first one, but
That's
yeah,
kind of
that was pretty cool.
the your guys' first
the
one.
Minneapolis show.
I was gonna say our first show before you were in the band. Unfortunately, I'm sorry.
Sorry, man.
Uh,
we really wish you were
The
there.
first show we ever
If I
did
could
was
travel back in
on a
time,
tour, which was just crazy.
I wouldn't have any other white bro.
the only reason it was the best was because as soon as we got on stage, you started singing Any Other Way.
Yeah.
Not a beat went by that they like verbatim, word for word, and we're like, we've never played a show before. How do you guys know all these words?
Yeah.
And it wasn't just like one or two people. It was like everyone screaming these lyrics back at us. And I almost forgot to go into the song.
Yeah.
Like it threw me off. I was like, oh shit,
Right.
play the fill, go in.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I wasn't expecting that, and
Yeah.
that's never happened before.
Yeah.
And like it happens all the time now because like a lot of the fans will come out
Yeah.
and they'll know the lyrics. But that was like,
that was a cool moment.
yeah, it was a moment where we were like, oh fuck, this is real. Like,
Yeah.
we're a real band, you know? Because at first we were like, we're not playing any shows. We put out a single, put out a music video.
Right.
What do we do? And then we went out on tour. We're like, oh fuck, this is what we have to do. Like, people love it. And every single song was just like, and then the next show, which was crazy, the next show was even better because people would memorize the lyrics.
Yeah, just from the first
from the
one.
videos that they would see on our stories. It's like, what the fuck?
It was crazy.
And we love seeing that. And we can't wait to go back on the road with the social again. And we're going to do
Nice.
more of that.
Last question for you. Any books in particular? Things, written
Keaton's got a
things,
book.
books,
He's
authors
got-
that have
he's so
gotten you
ready.
through
He's so ready.
the last
He's got-
couple years.
Real Artists Don't Starve. Jeff Goins. It's a fantastic book. Just finished it. Another one is Rich Dad Poor Dad. If you want to talk money, it's a really good one. You're a Badass. If you're into self-help books, that's a really good one. Or just motivational. Those three are probably great. But Real Artists Don't Starve, for any musicians out there, it's a must-read. That is like literally life-changing. And Writing Better Lyrics.
I was about to
Writing
say
better lyrics.
by
Pat
Pat
Patterson.
Patterson.
Yeah, he. That's a phenomenal book for songwriting. We studied it together when we were on one of our writing trips, or both of the writing trips.
Both of them, yeah.
And it's really helpful just talking about structures and different creative ways to write a song. So it's a couple options.
That's amazing. I love that there's like required reading for these trips.
Yeah.
As
Oh,
there's-
Yeah,
for
we got
sure.
What-
homework.
Yeah, it's at first it was like, oh shit, it's required, but then you kind of like want it because it helps.
Bring these things.
Yeah,
and just
we bring
scribble-
journals.
Fill them up.
Scribble in them. This
Yeah.
one says "Don't go."
Yeah, that's when we
That's
wrote.
awesome.
Probably when we wrote it.
Probably from "Don't Go" when we wrote it.
Yeah, which is probably very possible.
And then we have notes
Yeah.
out.
Just like random shit.
Home. This is one of
Oh,
our.
yeah,
yeah.
these are like the creative writings where you just pick a topic and then you have a set time and you just kind of go stream of consciousness for like 5 minutes, 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And then as soon as the timer's off, you have to stop mid-sentence. And it's awesome.
That's awesome. Tommy, do you have any other books you want to recommend?
For like self-help and like in a band setting, I would say a book called Extreme Ownership, which is about how, it's about like how businesses overcome problems and how you effectively lead. And it's not what you think. It's not like you don't lead with like an iron fist. You lead with a team, you know, and like that's been like so helpful in this setting and outside of band stuff. Just like
What's it called again?
Extreme Ownership.
Extreme Ownership.
Yeah,
I'll read
it's
that.
really good. And it's basically you got to take ownership of everything. If the team is failing, if the band's failing, I can't be pointing at him, or him.
No.
I need to be, what can I be doing to do that?
Mhm.
And then as I'm doing that, everybody else is going to be doing that as well, because you're not, when you point the finger, he's going to be resistant.
Yeah.
You know? So like now you're not coming to any sort of solution at that point.
Creates
So
resentment. Yeah, it was all
right, exactly.
Totally.
So
That's great. Well, guys, thank you. That is so many good things for me to chew on, take in. Appreciate your time. Appreciate your talent. Great meeting you. You guys also seem really, really nice. Would love to hang
let's
out in the
hang out.
future.
Yeah, let's hang
Come,
out.
come to our spot. We're in North Hollywood. Come.
we
chill
always
with
hit
us.
happy
Yeah.
hour at Republic of Pie every Tuesday
Yeah.
and Thursday at 3 p.m.
And if you,